You crazy, bitch.
And you gonna die.
Yeah, fucking bitch, man. That's why we come out. And you want to take a picture and after that call us crazy. Fucking Edomites, these fucking so-called white people, you going into slavery, it's going to be just, man.
Right.
It is just and it's going to be beautiful, man.
That's right.
And it surely shall happen. It's written in the scriptures, man.
How you just find out this one? You based in which? I'm Argentinian, that's why I asked you.
You Argentinian? Well, first of all right, these people on this sign, they meet the descriptions or the prophecies in the Bible of who the 12 tribes of Israel will be in these latter days, right now. Throughout, and it's been brought out through the Spirit. Our elders that are up in New York, and their elders, the Lord been working with them through the Spirit, and they came up with this sign, and that's what it is, man. You are an Israelite.
What is the part it says? Because I wonder, what is the
Genesis 49.
I got it right here.
Genesis 49.
Can you show me?
I got it right here. So this is the book.
Get on second
You
Ezra
said
chapter
Genesis.
13.
Oh, Genesis 49. Slot. You got it. Pull it out.
No, second Ezra chapter 13.
Start where tell them where you gonna tell them what's gonna be falling in the latter days.
I got it.
My northern kingdom.
Genesis 49, chapter 1. Genesis 49. Got it? Okay. Genesis 49, chapter 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his son and said, gather yourselves together, that I might tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Right. Notice it says the last days, because we in the last days. So, what Jacob told the 12 sons, okay, the 12 patriarchs who make up the 12 tribes of Israel, is that, okay, this is what's going to happen to you in the last days, meaning now. Okay, where your people going to be at, the conditions you're going to live in. All right? Verse 2. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Verse 3. Here's the first tribe. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power.
And as you see on the sign, Reuben is Gad, North American Indians. And if you think about it, they always kept their dignity. Even when the so-called white man came over here and made deals and treaties, they always upheld their part, and they upheld themselves with dignity and class.
That's the Seminoles.
Salat, Reubens, Seminole Indians, Salat. But that go for Reuben and Gad.
So next one is Naphtali.
As far as they both upholding their dignity when Esau came over here, Salat.
Verse 4, unstable as waters thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest thou it, he went up to my couch. Go to verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren.
Simeon and Levi are brethren. Now for Simeon we got the so-called Dominicans, and for Levi we have the so-called Haitians. They are brethren. Where do they dwell now? On the same island. Go ahead.
Done. Just say it. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitants.
Instruments of cruelty, which is what? Voodoo.
It says habitations.
Habitations. Which is the voodoo that they use, what they call it, Santa Maria, Domingo, whatever that is. They use those instruments of cruelty down there on the island Hispaniola. Go ahead.
Verse 6. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly my honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. Verse 7. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
Yeah, the Lord divided them because Simeon and Levi, they slew a whole tribe, basically, a whole city for raping their sister. So because of that, the Lord punished them. And now Simeon and Levi, they even hate each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's some, let's say, very humble opinion.
You got that in second.
Hey, you know,
you got that in second.
We know really like a 2 or 3 tribes, but the rest disappeared. We don't know what's going on.
No, it says it in the scriptures.
Yeah, it says, but
right?
But it's still.
Oh, we do know where we are. All right, get that out. Get that. Just start from
All right, second Kings
listen to him.
17 and 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which did they departed not from them.
All right, so you are familiar with the two kingdoms of Israel. The kingdom split after Solomon. You had the southern kingdom, which is called the kingdom of Judah. And you had the northern kingdom, which is called the kingdom of Israel, which consists of the 10 tribes. The southern kingdom consists of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. The 10 tribes were everything that you see from here on down. Go ahead.
That's my sense.
23. Until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, and he had set by all his servants the prophets. So was all his servants, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria until this day.
So the northern kingdom, these 10 tribes were carried on into Assyria. They went into captivity first. The Babylonians will later take these 3 tribes, but first these 10 tribes went into Assyria to go into captivity. But they didn't return to Israel. No, you don't see in First, Second Kings, or Isaiah, or Jeremiah where they return. What happened to them? Is that it? Is that it with that?
But it's interesting what you're doing.
All right.
Because you're searching, and you know, it's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
it's
very good what you're doing.
Go ahead, up.
Very nice.
This is 2nd Edges 13 and 40. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king,
Yep.
whose Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive and carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
All right. So the Assyrian king came and took them into slavery, but then they came. But then after that, they were. It's going to tell you. Keep on going.
Verse 41, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathens and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. So the 10, because the Assyrians eventually came down. The Babylonians overtook them. So what did these 10 tribes do? They said, we're going to go into a land where never mankind dwelt. And that land where never mankind dwelt was where? The Americas. They got on ships and they went to South them and they came over here. Go ahead. Wait, let him read. Let him read. Get to that part and then read that.
Verse 42, that they might keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land.
Yeah, it said they should keep They wanted to keep the statutes over here because they never kept them back then. But if you notice, if you do the history, they spoke Hebrew when they came over here. Different dialects of Hebrew. You can find stones and where they have ancient Hebrew, and that was from the so-called Latinos and Native Americans.
Even when Christopher Columbus came from Europe.
Yep.
There were a lot of Jewish people, and a lot of the tribes in the boats. They arrived
He had
in
Hebrew
America,
interpreters.
In America,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I know. And listen, another thing, the last question I had to go. This is what I say, the God, okay, North American Indians.
Yeah.
It's also, as you know, North American Indian, they're supposed to be before, like the Asians.
No, they came over here. They came over here with the 10 tribes. These 10 tribes came over here all at once.
Okay.
They're not Asians. That's something that the so-called white man wants you to believe. But the Bible just told you that they came over here after Assyrian captivity.
You have some little brochure, something to read for you guys?
Writing something down.
Hey,
Can I get it?
y'all writing something down. You want something?
I'm going to get something on gas.
This is Deuteronomy 33 and 20. And of Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lion, and tear the arms with the crown of the head. Everybody knows Gad, North American Indians. That's one of the main things they know for, is scalping people. That's a prophecy written by in the Bible, man. The white man will even tell you that's what North American Indians know for, scalping people, man.
No, you know what? I always thought that also they're part of the lost tribe. That's why I came to you and then
Yeah, you're an Israelite, man.
I wonder what's going on. Because, those definitely lost tribe. They are living in a very part of the Muslim.
Yeah, because this is what the main deliverance is going to be. And think about it. What further proves that we the truth.
This is what it is like in the promised land. To those guys, to those. Let's say
America used to be viewed as a land like that. Now it's Babylon. It's a cesspool.
Yeah, no, I know.
But what I was saying
This
is,
is a mess. I know.
what
We
further
know.
proves that all of us are the 12 tribes of Israel Think about it. All these people on the sign, we're the only people who really know how to dance, sing. We're the best at sports. We're the best at everything. All these people on the sign. It goes to show that we are the chosen people of the Lord. You know. But go get that part. Just get this part real quick.
As
We write some
Argentinian,
information down.
Argentina, I feel good to hear that.
Yeah.
That's good news, baby.
You should.
But I feel I need more.
They write down some information for you right now.
You know,
Let him get. He gonna get part in there.
This is 2 Esdras 13 and 43. It says, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
Fuck.
2 Esdras 13 and 43. It says, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
That means that place that they went to from the Middle East took them a year and a half to get to. So they didn't go somewhere close. They came over here to America. That was a year and a half trip over here. Go ahead.
In the same region, it's called Ashereth.
Now it's called the Arsareth. Now the brother got
Jewish Encyclopedia. So this is the JewishEncyclopedia.com. You can look it up for yourself. Arzareth. Right? The name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of restoration, according to 2 Esdras, chapter 13, verse 45. Here's the point. Columbus identified America with this land.
Yep. It shows you what's the name of the movie? 1492. There was a movie called 1492 in which Christopher Columbus went into what we was just reading, and he knew that the 10 tribes came over here. So that's one main reason why we know that these people on the sign are Israelites. Now these 3 tribes came over here forcibly by ship.
Do you think that Christopher Columbus knew something about it?
Yeah, of course he did.
Right
You're gonna say it
He
right
didn't
there.
say absolutely nothing. He didn't just spread to the
knew
world
it.
what's going on now.
I got the article right here. All
It's a
right,
good question, huh?
and it's going to answer this art. Now, this is from PBS. Pretty sure you know what PBS, Public Broadcast Station? This is from their own mouthpiece, same mind. Where are the 10 lost tribes? Boundless opportunity and fortune awaited Columbus and his crew as they set out on their voyage in 1492. The lands they discovered promised a new and better world. But for one Spanish missionary, the cruel enslavement and exploitation of the Native Americans was not the picture of the new world he envisioned. In the early 16th century, Bartolomé de las Casas became the champion of the North American Indians, devoting his lifetime to improving the conditions in the West Indies, Peru, Guatemala. Las Casas wrote, quote, "These Indians can bring near the redemption if we treat them humanely in the world and convert them to Christianity." Right, because before then, they didn't know about Christianity. All right, they were still keeping the customs of the Old Testament. We are preparing for the redemption of the Western world in the Messianic era. Their conversions apt indeed, as I am convinced the Indians originate in ancient Israel. Indeed, I can bring proofs from the Bible that they are the lost tribes. PBS, you all been fucking cut, man.
Yeah, that's PBS, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lost tribes. That's why we out here. That's why we got this big old sign. So, and you, we really out here for people like you gonna come up and ask a question. You know, the Lord is about to. What makes it very important, the Lord is going to come back, and He's only coming back for Israelites. That's all He's coming back for His people. When He told the disciples, He said, "Go out to the lost tribes of Israel, man." All right, man.
To know the Lord, because He's coming back to kill.
Use that information, man. Look it up. All right, yeah. We here every Saturday. All right. Yeah. Yeah. And with that, we give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, the Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the Akim out there. Honors to all the Akim out there spreading the word and truth and sincerity, man. And with that, y'all already know. 1, 2, 3. That's America!